Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to the Quiffcast with me. Why did you shove a handful of minstrels in your mouth just as we were starting the podcast?
Well, I had them in my hand and I thought if I eat them during the thing, you're just going to hear me munching on minstrels.
We were starting with the crunching.
Yeah, but then it'll be done.
Yeah. My name's Baines. This is Charlotte Smunch.
Smunch didn't even sound right my last name. Still going.
What? You're still crunching. Still what? You're so professional. Okay. So, today on the Quiffcast, we're going to be talking about a game.
A game?
Yeah.
Oh.
Endgame. That's a lot of peeking right there. Can you see that? That's
Yeah.
a lot of peeking.
Quite maniacal.
So, this year, it was the finale,
Today?
as it were.
It's a little while ago.
the finale of the whole 10-year, 11-year, how many every year storyline of the MCU.
Yes.
Phases 1, 2, and 3 all coming to a close in this big grandiose finale.
Yes.
So just to let you know, guys, I mean, I know that Marvel is just, spewing spoilers out onto the web now when it comes to, the DVD release and the Blu-ray releasing and whatnot.
They're releasing little trailers which actually have the whole film in the actual trailer.
Yeah, pretty much
including the ending.
Don't spoil the end game sort of hashtag, I think, sort of run its course now. But regardless of that, I think we're going to try and...
do a spoiler-free bit at the beginning?
Let's try and do a spoiler-free, and then when we've had enough and we can't talk anymore, we'll say "hua," and then we can...
Hua.
We'll do "hua." We'll have a commercial break, and then we'll go into the stuff. Okay. There might not be much we can talk about. We're gonna try our best.
Okay.
So,
Ding.
What did you think of that?
Of the ding or of the film?
No, what did you think of what did you think of Endgame?
I said a little throat bubble then.
Oh God. Oh my goodness.
I thought it was done very well.
Did you?
I did. Like the whole story, I think they wrapped it up quite nicely.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of... I think the film has a lot of... It was wrapping up quite a lot of stuff.
It was. It was. But they did it in a nice way.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was it was very emotional.
Obviously, I think going into it, obviously, Infinity War had a really hard-hitting ending, and I think a lot of people were sort of wondering where they were going to go from that.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt that...
Excuse me?
I kind of felt that the tone was going to be really...
Excuse me.
For God's sake.
I've got the hiccups now. I've eaten all those minstrels in one go.
Yeah,
carry on.
No, I'm not going to, because you're going to do something else.
No, I'm done now.
So I thought the sort of tone of it was going to be quite dark, because obviously after something like that happening...
Well, it had its dark elements. It didn't necessarily start off happy.
I was surprised that they could still get that amount of comedy into the film.
No, they do that. They do that really well.
They do it really well,
films.
and I was surprised how much they built into it. Even more, I think, more humour than even Infinity War had. I think, to be fair, I think it had a lot more humour in it.
I'm gonna have to watch them again.
Yeah, but yeah, and the amount of characters was great. I think they used
all of them really well. I think,
and to a degree where they were all very evolved.
Yes.
Yeah,
they weren't oh, we're just gonna throw these characters in because background extras, they all had their own little standalone moment where they were like useful.
They had, they had their own like character evolution as well. It's in like it's a strange way of like, as time has moved on from the likes of Infinity War, they've all had a bit of
character development.
Infinity War, the events of Infinity War has definitely changed them.
Yeah,
and you can see how it affects each character.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. I think there was all sorts of interesting elements that they brought into it.
Huh.
And yeah.
I don't know how much I can talk about this spoiler free.
No, I'm struggling as well. But yeah, let's just say that. Okay. I loved. There's a lot of references.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of unexpected cameos in it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But things that you weren't expecting to see, things that you think would be really unlikely, and it really sort of, drawn out things that you wouldn't really expect them to do in the film.
Yeah. But also things that you expected them to do, and they've done really well.
Yeah, and I think unexpectedly is a very, very fun film to watch.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't what you typically expected to happen, but I was surprised how there's a lot of predictable moments.
Yes. Yeah, there was a lot of predictable moments, but at the same time, they kept under wraps quite a lot from you, which you kind of went, oh no, that's happened. And they did them really well.
Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I am really struggling.
I'm struggling, yeah. Okay, I think we'll say that if you haven't watched, if you haven't had a chance to watch Endgame, then
I hope you enjoyed this 14-minute long podcast.
hopefully you've enjoyed this first 5 minutes, because it's only been really 5 minutes. We can't. It's very difficult being almost a part two-er to a film. Where there's a lot of stuff in it that they were very much emphasising the whole "don't spoil the endgame" hashtag
I actually think
for a while.
People managed to do that as well.
Yeah,
I've kind of grown to respect the whole franchise, and they did it really well. Yeah, and then Chris Pratt released that video just before they lifted the "don't spoil the endgame" thing.
Yeah. No, but I think it's very difficult with as much impact as that film has narratively.
Yeah.
It's difficult to keep it. If you don't see it within the first few things, online is what it is, and you do have to face those spoilers. But if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen it, then I don't know why. It's been months. This film's been out now. It's even coming out in cinema again next week. It is.
With Spider-Man.
With Spider-Man. What? Oh yeah,
Spider-Man's out next week.
But not to the degree of. No, it's actually this weekend coming up. Yeah, it's this weekend. Is it this weekend? Yeah, it's this weekend coming up. That Avengers. No, hang on. This weekend, as in when this podcast is released, I think
is when
the new Endgame is coming out.
And the week after is when Spider-Man comes.
Yes. So, I don't know. Speculation on what those new 8 minutes worth of content's going to be, but yeah. Word from our sponsor, I think.
Go for it. Have a commercial
break. So, introducing from Quifcore. Did you just whack the microphone?
I went to go get a minstrel. I thought commercial break time, minstrel time.
Introducing from Quifcore.
That hasn't affected the sound, has it? It wouldn't have done it. It'd be fine.
Yeah. Introducing from Quifcore, the Charlotte Smart sound effect creator. Have you ever wanted disturbance in your recording platforms of just munching or really audible hiccups or just too loud for loud's sake sneezes?
There's not wrong with them.
You sneeze like so loudly.
You're just taking a mic out of it.
Get weird hicks or
weird hicks
or really bassy burps. Or just general sound effects that you wouldn't really associate with the human body.
Come on.
Then you have this exclusive device that it has lots of different buttons, and then you can have all the Charlotte smart sound effects in the palm of your hand.
But haven't you already got that in the Quifco app? That is
actually available in the Quifco app, so it's already a product. But this is a handheld
Charlotte device.
tangible device. You know how you get those little
the little boxes with the fart sound effects.
Yeah. Pretty much the same thing.
No, it's not. My throat just made a weird noise.
There's one. There's a sound effect that's
it's
on
like
yeah. All these sound effects available on this tangible Lottie box.
Lottie box.
Yeah.
Wow.
Available to pre-order now.
Okay. Can't you get like boxes like that on a side note that you can record your own sounds on?
Yeah, you can get cards to do that. You can get like birthday cards and re-record messages and stuff.
Oh yeah, I know that.
All sorts of things.
Quite rare now.
So let's talk about Endgame with spoilers.
Okay.
Moments. Tell me a moment. Well, that's just sort of table tennis moments that you enjoyed.
Well, I think right at the beginning when Hawkeye turns around and his family's completely gone and he's on his own, that kind of just was like,
that was quite you knew it was happening.
You knew it was going to happen. You knew as soon as you saw him playing with his family, you knew what was going to happen. Yeah. But when it happened, you were still like, that's awful.
Yes. Oh no.
So nasty.
You just as soon as they come up on screen, you think, oh god, I know what's happening here. I'm not ready for it, and then it's just happens. It's like, oh. Yeah. That was quite heartbreaking for a first shot.
I'm glad they kept that because they were talking about putting that at the end of Infinity War, weren't they? But I'm glad they used it as the opening for Endgame because it was more hard hitting, I think. Because
that could have been, to be honest, thinking about it, that could have been a post-credit sequence.
It could have been a post-credit sequence, but both films worked really well not having post-credit sequences.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Because neither of them did they?
Yet.
Well, yeah, they started putting trailers for Homecoming. Not Homecoming.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Yeah.
In Endgame.
But now there might be a new thing. There might be actually a post-credit sequence in this new.
Speaking of which, do you think there'll be one at the end of Spider-Man, a new one?
Yes. No. There's two. There's confirmed 2 new post-credit sequences.
They might have one for Black Widow.
Maybe. Yeah. It's potential.
Or Guardians 3.
Or Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Or probably not Ant-Man. Probably not Ant-Man 3. That's sad. I haven't heard anything about that yet. It's making me sad. Anyway, yeah, that was a moment. I
think Endgame was more like Ant-Man 3. Considering he was in it as one of the main characters for
yeah, but then the
majority of it.
They don't call Iron Civil War could have been Iron Man 4.
That is true.
So it's there's all kind of things, but it's an Avengers film. It's the first Avengers film that Ant-Man's been in. So hopefully he'll be in more Avengers films. Please.
Yeah, I kind of hope they're kind of done with the Avengers films.
There won't be.
I can understand the group films
with the new Avengers now.
Yeah, but aren't they Hawkeye's daughter, Cassie Lang?
Oh yeah. Maybe they'll do. I think they'll still do Avengers films. I think that's the only one that will probably go further than the trilogy template, because all the main people have 3 films of their own.
4.
Yeah, Thor's got 3.
Yeah, no, but Thor's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy now.
Yeah, but that's going to be Guardians 3.
Guardians 3 plus Thor.
Yeah, maybe. We don't know. We don't know how they're going to work things out. But speaking of Thor,
Fat Thor.
That was quite a surprise. That was very unexpected.
I liked the way they stuck with Fat Thor. I know they had quite a backlash. Like, it caused a bit of controversy of people going, "Oh, why is he fat? Just because you're depressed doesn't make you fat." But I think it's the way people deal with that kind of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah. And he was obviously he was an integral part of that sort of event.
Yeah, because he killed Thanos.
Yeah.
He went for the head.
Mm-hmm. That was good. That was a moment that was quite shocking.
Yeah.
Just decapitating Thanos. That was quite. It was funny.
It was funny to an extent, but it had a tinge of sadness to it. Because he knew what he'd done wrong, and so he went to correct it, but it still made no difference because they knew that they couldn't get the stones back because they destroyed them.
No, that was heartbreaking, that scene.
Yeah.
You saw this sort of had hope going into it, thinking this is it, we're gonna get everything done, but
yeah. But equally, I'm glad they showed how he dealt with his grief, kind of just becoming some kind of hermit who plays Fortnite and drinks beer all day. Because that kind of describes your typical Fortnite player. No digs. Can't stand Fortnite. But they kept with it. They didn't instantly. He didn't snap his fingers, get his armor back, and he was fit Thor again.
No.
He was dad bod Thor, and I've hit the microphone again. I'm sorry. And I'm glad they stuck with that through the entire film and through to the finish of the film as well. They didn't go back on what they've turned him into.
Yeah,
he's developed in that way.
Yeah, I think Thor's one of those characters where he's the same character, but he does go through a lot of changes. Maybe not so much from the likes of Thor: Dark World, Age of Ultron. He's probably through Thor through to probably Age of Ultron. He's probably the same sort of character.
Yeah.
Then he gets a bit of a remix
in Ragnarok.
Which
is
and
one
Infinity
of my
War.
favourite films out of the whole Marvel.
And then again, Endgame, you've got this version as well. So I think it's quite nice seeing his character in quite a lot of different
stages of his life.
Still Thor, but it's
still undeniably Thor, but the way events are thrown upon him is the way that he changes. He kind of adapts to what hand he's been dealt, which is nice. It's nice to see that. I also loved that Tony Stark had a family. Yeah, that was quite surprising. Really nice. That was quite surprising. I knew he had a daughter in the comics and everything, but it was nice. It was lovely to see and quite heartwarming part of the film. Yeah, and him sort of settling down and doing things by hand, seeing him washing the dishes and whatnot. Sort of proper Tony settling down and doing. Living, not worrying too much about these kind of things. Yeah, that was quite nice. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Mm-hmm. Kind of raise the stakes, though. I'm gonna say it. Go on then. Ant-Man. Oh yeah. I loved Ant-Man's role was quite integral. Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't expect Ant-Man's to be such an important part of this film, but it was nice that it was. I kind of did think he was going to be quite a big part, because at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Janet just kind of goes, "Oh, don't get sucked into a time vortex." Yeah, you sort of saw that coming, but I totally get that, but I kind of thought that he would just sort of hand that information to them and then that's it. Yeah, you didn't expect him to be there. I sort of want him to be a part of it, but he was a big part of it. Yes. And I absolutely love the whole time travel element of the film. It worked. It worked, but also kind of fun. Messed them over as well because, it kind of opened a load of doors. Yeah. To expanding the Marvel universe into everything else. Yeah. Because obviously they've made a real big mistake, air quotes, in bringing everyone back.
But I think it's quite interesting because it's obviously people were sort of thinking, are they going to make time travel in this film? Are they not going to do it? Is that a bit too cheaty putting time travel in this film?
Yeah.
But they did it in a way that was, I think, suited it perfectly because obviously it was the culmination of all these films, and it was nice to sort of go back and revisit these things. I absolutely love the fact that they replayed that famous, that iconic shot of the first Avengers film where they sort of circled them all, and that famous shot.
Yeah, and I love how Hulk deals with this like progression to Professor Hulk. And he's like, I don't want to run around and smash things. Yeah. It's just like, what did I used to do?
I think probably the Ant-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America, that group was the most interesting, and Hulk because they were dealing with three Infinity Stones in the same place. Yeah. And
Ant-Man goes to help Tony Stark, which is nice because he kind of messed him over in Civil War.
Yeah. No, that was quite nice. That was definitely heartwarming for me because of my two favourite MCU characters all working together. And loads of funny references.
Oh yeah, definitely. In that scene alone, that was like one of my favourites, I think, when they go back to New York. Because, I mean, I will happily say that I hate the first Avenger film because I just find it so boring. But out of all of them, I love Captain America. I like his progression to who he is in this film. Winter Soldier is one of my favourite films out of all of them. But I like how he comes to accept that he is a pain in the ass. And he has a nice ass.
Yeah.
That's America's ass.
That's America's ass. That was really good. And the whole having these references that they're not aware of, like the Hail Hydra, I thought that was a really cool reference.
Yeah, I did.
With them sort of wrapping up on Cap's storyline and whatnot.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they snuck that little reference to the comics.
Yeah, when he goes in the elevator, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, you sort of.
You think he's going to deck them all again.
You're sort of led to believe that it's going to be. Well, it's quite obviously going to be led to believe that it's sort of the Winter Soldier, pre-Winter Soldier.
I love that film so much. It's such a good film.
But then he just takes the shortcut.
He does
with his background knowledge of the future. Yeah. He does that, and then it leads into him finding himself.
Yeah,
which
really
was hilarious.
Really
and that worked. Surprising that worked so well.
Yeah, no, it kind of leads you to believe. Does Captain America believe that he's fought himself in the future, or not?
Well, no, because their way of time, their explanation of time travel and stuff is very, very different to what we, in the sort of Back to the Future sense, believe.
Which they referenced in the film.
So many Back to the Future. But there was Karen Gillan was sort of saying about it. She regretted not pitching a Doctor Who reference.
Yeah.
In that scene, because she was in that sequence, and there was no.
She was one of the integral characters as well, which I really loved.
Yeah.
Because she did really, really well. Really well.
Like, she was in the room when they were all talking about different films and TV programs that had their time travel and the thing, and Doctor Who just didn't get a mention.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it would have been quite cool if Nebula came out with a Doctor Who reference.
Yeah.
And then they all looked at him like, why did you know that? That would have been quite cool. But hey,
they got Back to the Future in there, so that's okay.
Got Back to the Future in there. Quite a few Back to the Future references.
Yeah.
The sort of bands between Tony and Scott are saying, the whole time heist is based on Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. But yeah, I liked all that.
I didn't expect Black Widow to sacrifice herself.
No.
I was wondering how they would get the Soul Stone but I think it's kind of sad that they sent Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Yeah, you sort of saw them two go, and you sort of thought, oh,
hang on a minute, one of them's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was heartbreaking. Because I think it was doubly heartbreaking watching it for a second time.
Yeah.
With Natasha sort of saying, just before they go back in time, her last words to the team were, see you in a sec or something.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a minute or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so that was doubly sad. But yeah, very unexpected. I think it was a very heartbreaking scene, the Volmir scene.
Yeah.
I think it could have been... I feel it could have been a bit more emotional. Like, it sort of... After that scene, it seemed to just etch over it too quickly.
They didn't mention her at all. They did, like, the scene where Hulk throws a bench across a lake.
Yeah.
But, like, after that, they didn't mention her at all.
No.
Even when Tony Stark died, like, they sort of glossed over Vision.
Yeah. And they said, do you think they know?
Do you think they know? Yeah. But because the whole thing, yes, Tony Stark was like the godfather of everything, but it kind of overshadowed those two other big characters that gave up their lives for everything else.
Vision, yeah, I don't think Vision got too much of a look, really.
Didn't.
Like, probably Scarlet Witch didn't mention by name, like, but...
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's...
They kind of glossed over it a bit, didn't they?
Did. But, oh my god, there's so many little, like, big surprises in it. I loved, going back to the time travel thing, I absolutely loved the whole fact with Thanos finding out about the time heist, and then...
Yeah.
It's sort of making things worse than, like, because he sort of, it's sort of split, the timeline sort of split, and
yeah,
he's aware of everything, so he's just gone to the place where they've got all 6 Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
So I thought it was very interesting. There's so much. It's ridiculous. There's Cap being worthy. That was quite a cool moment.
You kind of knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
You kind of knew, but as soon as he got it, I mean, like, the atmosphere and the cinema changed when we got there, and everyone was like, yeah, go Cap!
They were basically thinking what Thor was saying, really.
Yeah.
So there's that. That whole sequence was...
Oh, yeah, no, it was
mind-blowingly
really
good cinema. And
when Spider-Man gave Tony a hug.
Yeah.
Just like, oh!
Just having Cap saying Avengers Assemble. I mean, I was for a while, like when they were doing like the red carpet or the purple carpet premiere, on like with Marvel and whatnot. They always play like a little bit of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And they were playing that music that was playing there, and I was listening to it thinking, and for a while before that, I was thinking, I know exactly what kind of music. I know the music track they're going to do at that moment when all of them come back. And I was thinking Cap's going to say that line. So I sort of preempted that.
Yeah.
But even though I sort of, in my head, sort of thought, I know they're going to do it. Yeah. Leading up to it, they're going to do it. When they did it, it's still like, it still got me.
Yeah.
Really did get me.
And with Giant Man in that scene is just awesome.
No, that
so
was
good.
That was quite. I was quite proud of him at that point. Like he got a good bit of screen time there.
He was massive.
He was. I think he beat his record.
Record for him. Yeah.
I mean, him compared to the size of the whatever it's called that were attacking New York in the first film.
The Chitauri.
I don't know what they're called though.
Yeah, the
Chitauri, but the
flying ones, because they had them in.
Yeah, they had them in the first one.
No, but they had them in the end sequence of the battle as well, because they bring all the Chitauri and everything into that battle.
That's what I mean. Yeah, but it was the same ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, the same ones. Yeah, plus others, I suppose.
Yeah.
They didn't have the death wheel things out of Infinity War, though.
No.
It's a shame. They could have brought them back. They were pretty cool.
But yeah, there's so much, and all those little character moments.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel wasn't in it too much, but I think that's probably. I think it still worked.
Yeah.
To that degree, I don't think they were. I mean, I know the sort of the production reason why she wasn't in it much, because they were
filming Captain Marvel at the same time they were Endgame, because she didn't know which scenes were in which film.
No, it was kind of
because they didn't give her the whole script for either one.
But she, I think they filmed all the Endgame stuff before Captain Marvel, so she didn't really know. She didn't really have bounds with the character either.
Yeah.
So it was that. I think. I think we should talk about the main death. I think.
What, Tony?
I thought it was very heartbreaking. I found that very difficult. Each time I've gone to see it, I've seen it 4 times now, I think.
The way they did it though was really, really good. I mean, what gets me is that he'd done all the filming and then they brought him back to film the specific scene where he said, "I am Iron Man," and he didn't want to because he'd already made peace with the character. He'd already left it. But they brought him back to do that one scene. But I think that kind of made the whole film, tying it back to the very first Iron Man. I think it worked
because I think they said that he wasn't going to say anything, and I think that he just did the click and that's it.
Yeah.
But I think it works. Not.
Oh no! It
wouldn't. I don't think it would have been character-like from not to have a bad to have a
quip.
A quip. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that was. I think it was perfect ending for him. Really.
What got me was when Pepper said, "You can rest now."
Yeah.
That's what made me cry.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant. I think it was a perfect ending. Really.
Yeah.
I was in tears for a solid. Well, I think I was probably in tears from the moment all of them sort of came out of the portals and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then it sort of there was different levels of tearage. There was obviously the funeral sequence, which Tom Holland was told was a wedding when they were filming it.
It was a wedding. Oh yeah, because he said it in an interview. There's a wedding. It was just some weird wedding.
Yeah, he showed up on the desk and said, we're filming a wedding sequence now. I was like, oh, this is not a wedding sequence. Where's Robert? That's what he was saying. I was like,
yeah.
Where's Robert?
Yeah.
I was like, oh. Yeah, no, absolutely perfect. I walked out the cinema, and that's the way I describe the film going out. Was just perfect.
Yeah.
Cap's story.
Yeah, that made me cry buckets because I was.
And I sort of preempted that as well, to be honest.
You did, because you said you were hoping that he went back and stayed with Peggy, but at the same time, the way they did it, the way they left off, is I'm a nurse and I like old people when they're together forever. They've been married 60 years. They still love each other really a lot. And the way that they did it with them just slow dancing at the end, cuddling, and him at the end saying, "No, I don't think I'll tell you about her."
Yeah.
It's just so sweet, and it was a nice end for him. It was he got to live out his life, and he did that because Tony told him to get a life. I think that's really, really nice. They signed off his character really well.
No, it was nice. It wasn't an awful. It wasn't another death. It was
sad in a way that made you the character's gone, but he's loved his life and he's happy.
He's still out there, but it's obviously nice, sort of without killing off the character. It's sort of finalised him, and you sort of saw him seeing him. Say he's going to be the one to take all these stones back, and you sort of.
You kind of know.
Yeah, you sort of he's going back in time, and they're saying, "Oh, he's coming back in 3-2." You said everyone. I think everyone in the theatre knew
That he wasn't coming back.
He wouldn't be showing his face. Well, not that face again.
Not that face.
I think it was lovely. The exchange between him and Sam it was brilliant.
Yeah. No, I don't think I will. It's turned into a meme now.
That one has turned into a meme. It's still a bootleg copy meme at the moment.
Yeah.
Until the digital release, but hey.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. I mean, we've talked quite a lot of it about it, and we've already talked a bit over the podcast time, but
have we?
Yeah, we've been talking about 35 minutes.
Oh wow.
Well, I think we talked a spoiler. We probably haven't spoke half an hour with the spoiler stuff. But
we can speak more about it. Like, there's a lot more that
there's so much
that I enjoyed.
There's so much in that film. It's ridiculous, and it's so rewatchable as well. There's so many
the things that you don't notice.
All these cameos as well. There's so many amazing cameos. The whole sequence where they went back even further back in time, and Tony had an exchange with his dad. And
they made peace with his dad, and how Peggy had a picture of Cap on her desk from before he was turned into.
It was
Muscle Man.
Robert Redford had another cameo.
Yes.
Unexpected. I mean, it was very brief, but it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Thor's mother. He had a chat with his
Jane
mother.
Foster, even though she turned up to none of the footage she filmed. It was all little extra bits they clipped from the Dark World because she didn't want to be in Endgame, but she turned up to the carpet ceremony anyway.
Yeah.
Didn't look too happy about it, but she was there.
Was that all? It was all just extra stuff.
It's just all extra stuff. If you.
I thought she filmed extra.
The Russo brothers, where they said they didn't bring her back for filming because she didn't want to do it. So we had lots of little outtakes from the Dark World, which we cut and pasted into the film.
All right, I thought literally the getting up from bed. I thought that was the only bit that she came to redo.
No,
that was actually from the Dark World.
It was actually from the Dark World. Yeah,
they just added
she
Rocket
didn't
in.
do any of it.
No. Fair enough. I mean, that sort of makes more sense, to be honest.
Yeah, because she didn't want to be in it anyway, did she?
No. Yeah, there's so much ridiculous. As you said, Nebula had a bigger part in this film. It was quite an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
I
definitely think Guardians 3 is going to be based on trying to find
Gamora. Or present new timeline Gamora.
New timeline Gamora. Which is actually old Gamora, but is now new Gamora because the recent Gamora died.
No, she's still dead.
She's still dead, but this is one from a past timeline. Who's come back. There's no knowledge of Chris Pratt. But
apart from the fact that
she knows that she's with him, but she kicks him in the balls and runs off. And now they'll be finding her.
Mm-hmm. There's so much. It's impossible to talk about everything in a half an hour podcast.
Looking forward to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's going to be good.
Be a nice.
Apparently that's the ending.
Epilogue to. Is it epilogue?
Yes. Yeah.
The film after the big ending film, kind of is a nice finish.
It's odd. I think they were going to do that. I thought they were going to sort of say that Endgame's the end of that thing.
But this will kind of hopefully explain what happens to all the people who are 5 years younger than people are now.
So it's tying up some ends, I think, and then they starting anew after this with, I think, probably the Black Widow film probably be the next one. But that looks good. Well, I don't know.
Do you think now that they've gone through, because they're not talking about doing an overarching storyline now, are they? That they're just going to do standalone films for each character in a way, or do you think there'll still be some kind of underlying storyline? I think they're going to build something. I think they're going to build something again. I think it's inevitable that with the whole having X-Men and Fantastic Four joining, Deadpool joining, I think Spider-Man kind of opens oh, by the way, there is a multiverse now. Because
we don't know yet. I mean, we never. That could be a red herring sort of thing. We don't know yet.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you start the new films with Black Widow, that is obviously going to be set in the past.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think they can do pretty much anything now. I think, you know,
true.
When the first phases, they were testing the waters. Phase 2 is pretty much a few new things, but it's continuing on stories and stuff.
It's still building on the same story, isn't it?
I think we'll still see familiarities. I think we will see. We're obviously going to see more of like Black Panther and Doctor Strange and Ant-Man and all these.
Unless
characters.
there is some kind of underlying story in the past that maybe starts with Budapest, which they've already said is going to be a big part of the Black Widow film, which could be the precursor to a story through the next phases for something else. Because there's not just Thanos who's a big bad guy in the Marvel universe.
No, there's all sorts of.
There's also like
things like Galactus. I think probably might be a step.
And like the ending scenes to Guardians 2. I mean, they got like, is it Black Adam or something like that as well?
Yeah.
That they've hinted to, but haven't actually done anything with.
It's not Black Adam. I think it's just Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock. That's the one. Sorry, how
Black Adam's. I think
like, is he DC?
That's Shazam. Yeah.
Yeah, Shazam. Oh, yeah, isn't it? Oh, sorry. One per episode.
But yeah, I think it's a good way to end it. The future.
Shazam was a good film.
That's not what we're talking about. So the future of the MCU. Looking forward to it.
It should be interesting.
I
like to see how they bring in the X-Men. Because apparently Dark Phoenix was rubbish.
Don't know yet.
No, I haven't seen that yet. I'd like to see it.
I'd like to see it. Just give my opinion, right? But that's for another podcast. Thank you very much for listening to this Quiffcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. As mentioned before, we have the Quiffco app. If you haven't pre-ordered the Lottie box, you can always have a taster of all those sound effects on the Quiffco app. You can also join the Discord server. If you want to join the Discord server, there's links somewhere.
And they'll be on YouTube at the end of your videos. And I'm sure it'll be on the page where you downloaded this podcast as well.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere. We're trying to put it everywhere. There's a button on my Twitch. Sorry, Charlotte was just looking at the app.
Would you like to enable push notifications? Yeah, but you're right, lol.
But yeah, download the Quiffco app because I should probably get Ash to stick the Discord invite on the app. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
There's a taste.
There's a taster. It's quite a sour taste of it.
Looks like he's added quite a few. Oh, gonna have to look at that.
Oh, you could look at it if you download the app. Not available on Android. So,
just add that in there for Ash.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow us on Twitch as well because we're doing some more live stream content and other stuff. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. Until next time, take care with the hair and I shall see you there. Bye now.
Bye.
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 Bye.